Well, today I want to show you how to simulate sunlight in studio by using one modifier and one main light to simulate the sun. Now, if you ever gone outside and you want, especially in Arizona where I'm from, and you want a model to stand out and have the sun maybe come in as the main light, maybe on a white wall, or here we have a simulated kind of a concrete backdrop, it's hard for your model to stare and not have that sun really in their eyes. Their eyes are watering, they start squinting. And here in the studio, I can get away with simulating the sun. We have our beautiful model, Farah, with us. And we put a hat on her. Now that hat's red, but I have my camera in monochromatic because I think this is really a black and white shot. What we want to do is we want to create this edgy light like the sun, but then we're going to fill it in with a 7-foot umbrella with a diffusion on it. So in the old days, I would always use reflectors or foam core as my bounce back into the scene to soften my shadows. Well, it was about a year ago I thought, you know what, that's a lot of work. What if I used a big modifier? And I started doing that, and I found out it actually works incredible, but it has more control because I can power up or power down the value of what that shadow is receiving from this light. So on my FJ400 version 2 over here, I have the small standard reflector, which is about 7 inches. And the reason why I want to use that one is I want the smallest reflector I can because I'm simulating sun. And so if you want to simulate sun, there's 2 ways to do that. I can go and take this light out and put it out in the outdoors when the sun's out and try to walk back away from it until it's the same size as the sun, but I would recommend you have some really thick sunglasses to do that. Or I can take my hand and go outside and look at the shadow that it casts on the wall or white, whatever it is that you have. And you look at the edginess of that shadow, and then come back in the studio, back your light up until you get the same exact edginess. So in this case, I've got the light about 12 to 15 feet. I usually keep it around 18 feet is probably a good place to start. Now, if you don't have a studio that allows you to do that, that might be a challenge, but here's one other thing you can do. You can take a piece of black stock cardboard or paper from, say, Michael's or whatever art supply, and just cut a smaller hole in it and just tape it on it. The smaller that hole is, the closer you can have the light to your subject and still get that simulated sun. The only challenge is that it may not spread the whole length from head to toe. You gotta be careful there. But, all right, so what we're gonna do is, we're gonna have Farah just sort of get as close as we can to the backdrop. If she steps away from the backdrop, the shadow is gonna lengthen. It's gonna get longer to her left. If I move this light in this direction, the shadow goes longer. So I have that to contend with, and I'm also watching how the shadow is striking across her face. I actually like a little bit of that, like the hat or whatever is sort of raking. I want a shadow on her face. That gives that drama and sort of that 50s cinema look. So let's take a look here. I have my camera set to ISO 200. My shutter speed's 200, that's my sync speed, and f7.1 is my f-stop. All right, we're gonna keep this big light right here off for the first shot. And I'm gonna show you how those shadows get really blocked up and really deep black, and that's not what I want. And we're gonna fill it in with the other shot. So straight on, this looks good. All right. Here we go. This is without the light behind me. Here we go. All right. Let me actually zoom in. I'm going to take your hand out. Just go all black right there, right there. Here, 1, 2, 3. Okay, that looks great. All right, now we're going to flip on, take the B light off this sleep. It's in sleep mode. So now we have, this power is 7.1 output. This is 6.2. So it's about a stop less than my main light here. But I wouldn't really go by that. If you're gonna set it up, just start using this light until it matches the fill that you want. So here we go. And that's what the fill That's kind of where I've come up with this being, I think, a pretty good fill. So let's knock it down and show you, because your vision as an artist may be a little bit different than mine. So we're gonna knock it down one full stop, fire it off. And actually that's not too bad. I still detail in her eyes. It's pretty drama, it shows that drama. Now just for kicks, look in that direction a little bit and let that light rake across. And let's see what that looks like. Maybe a little more, just actually really swing, yeah, right there. So I'm gonna watch that shadow across her face. Now just dip your head just a little bit down. We want a little more, yeah. All right, now try bringing your hands up a little bit. Let's try one with your hands in there, right there. Okay, I'm gonna zoom out just a little bit because I wanna make sure I get your elbows in there. And I'm trying to run the camera so that my framing has room for the shadow. Now, let's take, and I'm gonna move that light that way. Let's make those shadows a little longer. And I've done this with some cowboy stuff, with their hats. This makes for great drama. Oh, now we have this long shadow that's coming all the way down around here. And so a lot of times that shadow will actually make like almost like a face or something, depending on how the model positions herself. And there's a nose, I see a little mouth. That looks incredible. Now dip your hat just a little bit more down. Just look down, just kind of look down, right there. Oh, a little too much, come back just a fraction. That way I see it on your nose. And then right there. All right, now try, keep your chin that way a little bit, but bring your eyes back just a little bit, right into the lens. Okay, that's a pretty good look right there. So I have a nice shadow. Now let's try this. Just come up, separate yourself about 8 inches from the backdrop. So just come forward just a little bit, and see what that does to that shadow. I'm gonna actually compensate. I know that shadow's gonna grow. So here we go. Yes. Now that shadow's a lot longer, which creates a really nice dramatic kind of look. Here we go, positioning. I'm a third, I'm doing the rule of thirds now. And now look straight on, just go straight on, yeah, right there. No, keep your hands back up like that, right there. But maybe come back just a little right there. See what happens. Okay, all right, I like this. Okay, so the only problem is there's no shadow on this cheek right here, no light hitting that. So I'm gonna bring it back just a little bit. So I'm gonna try to find a sweet spot in between the two of the shadow. This is gonna shorten the shadow, but I can always bring her out a little bit. I wanna get just a little bit of that light striking her. Oh, there it is. Okay, we got the light striking her cheek, and now you come away from the backdrop another 3 inches or so, right there. And that'll lengthen the shadow. I think that works pretty good. Now I'm just getting a little bit less on there. Let's just do this, right there. I want that cheek to be lit with something. And then now bring your chin up a little bit. That'll give a little bit more. Right, there's the shot right there. Look at that. Okay, now just close that one thumb. She's hitchhiking down the road. Okay, ready? Oh, that looks beautiful. Very classic. And I'm gonna do one more thing here. This is gonna probably crop into the shadow, but I really love this portrait right here. This looks beautiful. 1, 2, 3. Now I'll zoom in a little tighter. This could be a cover of a magazine right here. A little tighter. So now I'm not worried so much about the shadow on the backdrop, but I want the shadow on her face. So turn your head that way a little bit, right there. There we have it. So it's all about these small little increments of details that you have to watch out for. And this is the beauty of being an artist at photography. It's all those things, just like if you're in music and you have to score something and you want to have the drums and the cymbals and then the horns and all these things that make a song. We're doing that here with a model, lighting, all these things that we do to make it and pull it off. One of the things I always say is that when you create a look that maybe is a signature that you put out in the marketplace, and clients start to hire you for that, you have to duplicate that all the time. You can't just say, oh, well, it was sunny one day and I got this shot. Now the client wants you to do that and it's overcast. What do? Well, in this case, I can do it every single time. Snow outdoors, it could be at nighttime. I'm always able to simulate sunlight with two really simple strobes. One with a 7-foot umbrella diffusion and then one with just a little hood on it. And I can control my light, and it's so simple. When I do this scenario, I like to do 3 different backdrops. A pure white, which is really easy, very clean. I love that look. 50% gray, which Westcott has. I use it all the time. And this smooth concrete that I have right here. And it gives me this sense of like she's leaning against an old wall. So all this is available for you, and I got it set up on an X drop, and I can set it up anywhere. The nice thing about this also is I don't need a giant studio. Now I've got room in here, but I've done this on the shaded side of a building before. So long as you're not battling the sun, you can literally set this up anywhere.